between the lines.
Footprints of Early Man by David Mackenzie. The black race is distributed widely in Africa, India, Australia, and Melanesia, Pacific Islands. A familiar representative is the Negro.
It was from this area that the Negroes acquired their early knowledge of agriculture and certain crafts. From the region of the Great Lakes migrated the ancestors of the more vigorous Negroes, the Kaffirs, on the Gold Coast of West Africa, as well as those who reached South Africa, where they are represented by the Zulus and others. The dark Negroid pygmies, Negritos, are found in the Belgian Congo and in the equatorial area. Other short peoples are the Bushmen and Hottentots, who were formerly numerous in South and Southwest Africa. The Bushman people are now scattered in the Orange River area, but in prehistoric times were distributed to the north of their continent. Like the Hottentots, their skins are lighter than those of the Kaffir tribes, being indeed a tawny yellow, but, like other Negroes, they have flat fibered hair which curls in peppercorn. The hair of the Bushman is somewhat scanty, however, and grows in tufts. As the Bushman folk are of low stature, the men from 4 feet 6 inches to 4 feet 10 inches. They are classed as pygmies. Their deep-set eyes have wonderful power of vision.
It has been emphasized that various racial types are included in a single European nation, and that similar peoples speak different languages. The language of Europe, with the exception of Finnish, Hungarian, and Basque, are chiefly dialects of the ancient Aryan tongue. The Basque people, who live in Pyrenees area of southwestern France and northern Spain, have a distinct non-Aryan language of which there are at least 8 dialects.
The earliest Aryan people who spread westward were the Celts. They came from the Danube area. Greek writers describe them as tall and fair. Their children, says one, have generally white hair, but as they grow up it assumes the color of their fathers, yellow or light brown.
Discontent is not unfrequently excited amongst the slaves by the sight of their black free brethren, who usually live in a state of complete idleness. By a law, lately passed in the state of South Carolina, every traveler who enters that province with a black servant is deprived of him on the frontiers, where he is imprisoned and only returned to his master when he is about to leave the state. The reason given for the enactment of this law is the fear that tumults may be excited among the slaves by free black strangers who never fail to talk to them of liberty.
A Negro, whether free or enslaved, cannot travel without a passport, and every white has a right to stop and detain him in prison if he is not able to prove his freedom. The desire of some states to rid themselves of the free blacks has induced them to impose a heavy capitation tax on those unfortunate persons and even to authorize their sale if they are unable to pay it. In most of the states they may be sold to pay the debts of their masters contracted before emancipation, and even the expenses of their imprisonment if they should be detained while traveling for not having certificate of their liberty. In 13 of the states the Constitution expressly forbids them to vote, and in all the others, except Pennsylvania and New York, they are deprived of this privilege by special laws. Some of the southern states have forbidden free Negroes to enter their domain under severe penalties.
There is a beautiful mosque at Galata near Top Hana, called Arab Jamisi or the Negro Mosque. Near this is a fountain which discharges miraculous water, which has property of assisting women in childbirth.
The Ahada or Little Negro is as black as ebony, like the Africans. His greatest height is 4 feet and a half. His hair is woolly, and as he takes no trouble about cutting it and knows not how to arrange it, it forms around his head a sort of a crown, which gives him an odd aspect and at a distance makes him appear as if surrounded with a kind of halo.
The Shillooks are described as perfectly gigantic. Their color is black, their hair woolly, and their features like those of the Negro. Both men and women were naked. They possessed neither horses nor camels, but few cattle and lived chiefly on fish and doora.
We must enumerate also the Tangatish or Thibet dialect, the Sinhalese, Japanese, and what little, after separating its intermixtures of Indian and Arabic, will yet remain of the Malay language peculiar to the dialects of the islands between India and America and may again be traced back to 2 fundamentally distinct families of language in Malacca, and the Negro like Papua. We halted near this channel at a large village, which had as governor a Negro, a pilgrim, and man of fine character, named Farba Maja. He was one of the Negroes who made the pilgrimage in the company of Sultan Mansa Musa. Farba Maja told me that when Mansa Musa came to this channel, he had with him a Qadi, a white man. The Qadi attempted to make away with 4,000 myth calls of gold, and the Sultan, on learning of it, was enraged at him and exiled him to the country of the heathen cannibals.
Zayla, the town of the Berbera, who are a Negro people. Their land is a desert extending 2 months' journey from Zayla to Makdashah.
Zagari, a large village, inhabited by the Negro traders called Wanjarata, along with whom live a community of whites of the Ibadite sect. It is from this village that millet is carried to Iwaladan. After leaving Zagari we came to the great river, that is the Nile, on which stands the town of Karsaku. The Nile flows from there down to Kabara and thence to Zaga. In both Kabara and Zaga there are sultans who owe allegiance to the king of Mali.
I met the Qadi of Mali, Abd ar-Rahman, who came to see me. He is a Negro, a pilgrim and a man of fine character. I met also the interpreter Duga, who is one of the principal men among the blacks. All these persons sent me hospitality gifts of food and treated me with the utmost generosity. May God reward them for their kindness.
Timbuktu was annexed by Mansa Musa after the conquest of Gao in 1325. In 1333 the town was pillaged and burned in a raid by the Masi from Yatinga, Upper Volta, but was rebuilt by Sulayman shortly after his accession. The poetess Sahil met Mansa Musa at Mecca during the pilgrimage and was persuaded by the Sultan to accompany him back to the Sudan. He was the architect of the mosques at Goa and Timbuktu and died at Timbuktu in 1346. Gao or Gaogao, which is apparently a variant of the original name Kuga, was an important trading station at the convergence not only of the salt route from the west and the trans-Saharan route from the northeast, but also the transcontinental trade route. Early in the 11th century it became the capital of the state of Songhai, Songhai, on the conversion to Islam of the first Songhai dynasty, which is said to have been of Berber origin. The Songhai kingdom was annexed to Mal by Mansa Musa in 1525.
On the next episode, From Negro to Moor.